Good evening and welcome to the Student Athlete Playbook video conversation. And as you already know, we always connect with and build with and highlight the best student athletes, the best parents of these amazing student athletes, coaches, and youth service providers around the United States and the world. And tonight is no different. Tonight have a very amazing and wonderful family on the line. They just happen to be personal friends too. However, they have produced an amazing young man and an amazing young daughter, and we're going to highlight the young man tonight. He is Chamblee High School's, Chamblee, Georgia, Chamblee High School's own Simeon Stephens. Good evening, family. How y'all doing?
Good.
We're good.
Good evening. Thank you.
Well, oh man, you welcome. You welcome. So as we get started here, so y'all know me pretty well. We've been working with the Student Athlete Playbook. It's been billed as the #1 book for youth student athletes for a minute now, and we're just so proud that we can highlight young men like Simeon, because a lot of people in this day and age, because of social media, because of this new ranking system, Tavares, that's been around since, it wasn't around when we were growing up, but this 3-star, 4-star, all this amazing stuff they're doing now with these student athletes. We like to highlight the student athletes that are truly doing it off the field, off the court, off the track, and also balling out of control on the field, on the court, and on the track. And so Simeon, in my opinion, and I know I could probably be biased here, however, he is really doing that. He is actually doing that. And watching him grow up, I was telling you before y'all got on the line, but watching him grow up from a baby, a little toddler, all the way to this young man now is amazing. I just, every time I see him on Facebook or I'm watching this highlight tape, it's like, man, he's truly a young man now.
Right.
So thank y'all for producing this young man, and Nia too. She's doing amazing, man. The poetry stuff, the spoken word, the rapping. Listen, hey man, y'all need to bottle this stuff up and start selling it. Because it's amazing what y'all do. And I know it. And here's the amazing thing: I know it hasn't been easy. See, that's the part I know. I know it hasn't been easy. So I just want to give y'all your flowers and talk about that up front before we get to the nitty gritty with Mr. Simeon. You know what I'm saying? So, so I wanted to shout y'all out as parents first and foremost.
Thank you.
Oh, you welcome. You welcome. So, Simeon, how you feeling, man? How you feeling? Big time senior, man. I know you got acceptance letters to college already. You're in the middle of basketball season. So how do you feel right now as a senior in high school handling your business?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just trying to have fun my last year. I don't want to go by too fast, but I'm not like in a rush to get out too at the same time. So, and then with basketball season, we started off pretty good this first semester, 10-5. We haven't started off this fast in a long time, so like that's good for like us in the program and the school, but just trying to stay locked in because we got a tough region schedule coming up this second half. But yeah, I'm excited.
I'm just curious, what region, what teams are in your region with you? What's some of the schools that are in the region that you play in?
It's us. We had Tri-Cities, Woodward Academy, Decatur, Dunwoody, Arabia, Lakeside. So yeah, it's
Shiloh.
Oh yeah, Shiloh. Our region just changed this year, so it's like really spread out because they got rid of 7A. So like it's kind of like geographically it's a little weird, but yeah.
Right. That's right. Yeah. I know Tri-Cities has had a good squad these last couple of years. So man, okay, I definitely got to keep an eye on that region, and definitely I look forward to coming and checking you out as y'all get into the meat of your region schedule here coming up. So now I've been watching your highlight. I know you're a basketball player. I know that for sure. But growing up, Simeon, what did you play other sports? That part I couldn't really remember. I said, well, I'm just gonna ask. What did you play other sports when you were younger?
I always wanted to play tackle football, but I ended up playing flag football. My opinion, I was pretty good at it. But I just feel like basketball just kind of took over as I got older. And then I played baseball a little bit. I was pretty decent. In my opinion, it was just too boring. Like I needed some more some more movement. Yeah. And then soccer too. Yeah, soccer. I feel like if I kept playing, I would have been pretty good. Because I was just athletic, so I was just running around kids. But that wasn't really like my first sport. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, soccer's a great sport, man. That's actually the first sport I ever played. It was soccer. And as I gravitated and was introduced to football, all the coaches, I'm talking about for the rest of my career, all the way up through college, Simeon, they kept talking about my footwork. And all I can say, it probably came from soccer. Like literally. And I didn't, when I was younger, of course, I didn't understand that. So probably your basketball footwork, the foundation of soccer may have helped you tremendously. Right there. So I'm glad you mentioned that, man.
Well, truth be told, Barry, that's why we had him playing. That's why we had him playing soccer. Because we knew it would provide a good athletic baseline, wherever he decided to go, wherever his heart led him. So yeah, so that was
that was a part of the plan.
I can't say that was part of the plan. Now, other parts, evolve as you go, but that was a definite.
Right.
And Barry, can I say one thing real quick? One of Simeon's daycare providers, I think you were around 3, maybe even earlier than that. He would play basketball sometimes there, and she gave him this DVD of Michael Jordan. And when I tell you, we had to watch that DVD like over and over and over again. I mean, he was just locked into that, to his story, to how he played. And this was like a toddler. And I was like, oh my goodness, you, instead of watching like the cartoons and whatever, you would watch that over and over and over again. So I was like, okay, I guess he likes basketball.
That is true. Yeah. Good recall, Nicole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all this thing.
Maybe the 23, Barry, maybe the 23 is in part for both. It might be. It's in part for LeBron. It's in part for Jordan.
Wow. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Did you ever have, Simeon, do you ever remember walking around with a little basketball, Nerf or anything, or a real basketball?
Yeah, we had the goal in the living room, like most kids did.
You did?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that goal in the living room.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Our living room was a basketball court for years. Years. Okay.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I remember the basket. I do remember, if I'm not mistaken, I actually remember you dunking it. Like you were showing me you could dunk it. I kind of vaguely remember something like that. Wow.
It was duct taped up and everything.
That's hilarious. I remember that now.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Those are beautiful memories. So, Simeon, here's when I listen to these stories like this is when I truly, truly think about the growth and what parents have put into their children, the environment, because everybody doesn't have those environments, right? Where their kids are nurtured where they got a little Nerf goal, and then boom, next thing you know, they got the goal out in the driveway, and then the next thing they go into the gym, regularly to get the work in. But it all starts with that little Nerf goal, or that little goal in the living room. And Simeon, I'm not even a basketball guy in no sense of my imagination. But I got a Nerf goal right here in my office, like literally right now in front of on the closet door in my office. There's a Nerf goal just because I had one when I was little, and I said, you know what, I can get up, shoot some hoops when I want to get out my seat, and I also have a putting green in my office too, so I get up and putt too. So but that Nerf goal thing, serious man, had a lot of battles with my brother growing up with those Nerf goals. Oh man, y'all just brought back some memories. So so thank you for sharing that. So soccer, baseball, I got you. And then basketball has won out, obviously. So now, Simeon, 3.86 GPA, man. Salute to you, brother. I can't even imagine you not having good grades. You or Nia having good grades. You probably couldn't get in the house without them. So I understand, brother. Handle your business. You obviously take learning and academics very seriously. Man, I'm curious to know what's your favorite or what has been or what currently is your favorite subject in school right now?
To be honest, like growing up, I didn't necessarily have a specific favorite subject, but I was always like a history or English type of person. Just because with the history, that's always going to continue no matter what. And then the English, like how you can be creative with it. I mean, he probably contributes to that a lot, but yeah, really that side of school, like math and science, I was always pretty good at, but they weren't necessarily my favorites.
I got you. So now I definitely know where you got the English and the whole speaking. It's in you. It's a part of your DNA by far. Just look at your parents. Because I learned this working with your father where we met. Shout out to Chamblee High School.
That's right.
Once you meet the parents, like good or bad, and Tavares will tell you this, your dad will tell you this, good or bad, whatever way that kid is acting, whatever the way that student is acting, you're sitting there scratching your head. You're like, why is this young man acting like this? Why is this young lady acting like this? And the minute you meet their parents, good, bad, or indifferent, you say, oh, that's why they acting like that.
Yeah.
So the way you've grown up, the way you and Nia have grown up, and the way y'all present yourselves, meeting your parents, I'll say, oh, okay, I get it. I got it. Yeah, no question. So English was, when you were younger, reading and stuff, and now math. You said, did you say science too, or you just said math is probably your favorite?
Yeah, I just said, I was pretty good at it, but English and like social studies have always been my favorites. Yeah, throughout school. Yeah,
that's good, man. That's excellent, bro. I like that. I like that. So now you've had a well-rounded career, no doubt, in the classroom, outside the classroom, in the community. This stuff that you're doing leadership-wise, though, in the church, going to Seattle, Washington. Man, how do you what's the key? What would you say is the key to balancing all this? Like, how do you do that, man? How do you do that?
To be honest, I feel like part of it just comes from my passion in other areas, because that kind of fuels me to be able to have the mindset to go out and do all these things with FCCLA, and then the media stuff that I do at church sometimes. And then I've been trying to get better at it personally, but still time management has helped too, because if you have it all clumped together, then it's not gonna be able to work.
Right.
But yeah, I say really just my passion to fuels me to be able to just have the motivation to do all these things that are outside of basketball, really.
Passion. I like that word, man. I like that word because, as a young man, the world we live in, the country we live in, when we start talking about passion, it can be taken a different way. And I know in the past, back in my playing days, I attempted to play with a lot of passion. And I remember sometimes it was taken the wrong way, especially when I played baseball. I was a football player and baseball player, Simeon, and I think sometimes I would bring my football attitude over to the baseball field, and I would get it. I didn't get in any trouble. I never was a trouble student. However, I kind of transformed when I got in between the lines, and I played with a different attitude than I did walking around the school. And sometimes I could obviously tell they didn't think what I was doing was passion, even though that's all it was. They took it as something else. So I like the way you describe passion and your love of the game and your love for all the activities that you do. Because if you're not doing it with passion, in my opinion, my humble and meek opinion, why are you doing it at all?
Yeah.
So I like that, young man. I like that you put passion into all your activities. And I love it. And the balancing time management, time. I use a word called usage instead of time management. I say time usage. How do you use your time? And I like that, Simeon. I like that. Time management is the key by far. Now, Pastor Stephens.
Yes.
Mrs. Nicole Stephens. When Simeon was younger, now we talked about soccer was a part of the plan. What did y'all want to do? Like, did y'all talk before you started having kids to say, hey, when we have kids, we're going to do X, Y, Z? Or did y'all actually write down a plan? Like, I want them involved in these activities growing up. Or did y'all just freestyle? I know a lot of parents freestyle. I know they freestyle. So my question really is, what do y'all know y'all instilled in him, or what were you attempting, and what do you know you have absolutely instilled in him and Nia as they've grown up from babies? It was actually in the womb all the way to now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Y'all understand the question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say it was twofold. One, we knew our kids were going to be active and involved in something, whatever it was going to be. Like they weren't just going to be, sit around the house, not get engaged, community extracurricular. So that was the first element of it. But then the second element was us both just saying, let's watch and see what they gravitate towards. And once we begin to see what they gravitate towards, let's encourage it. And then once we see what they're really passionate about, then, so I guess it's threefold. Then once we see what they're passionate about, just walk with them to develop whatever the passion might be. And if it changes over time, also, change right along with them and keep supporting. And so that's been the game plan really from the beginning.
Yeah, and I would agree with Tavares on that. I think we always knew once we knew that we wanted them to be well-rounded children. And so what does that mean? We kind of took cues from them on what that meant, but we knew we wanted them to be well-rounded. We knew that we wanted them to be really excellent students. And once they showed us that, okay, I'm capable of learning and succeeding at this level, then that's what we're going to push you to. That our expectation is that you're going to do well in the classroom because you have the ability to do well. So I don't think we talked about it like that initially, but we both come from backgrounds that we were very well involved in all, pockets. And so we knew how that actually helped us and helped us be the people that we are. And the other thing I think we focused on was that we just wanted them to be good people. I want you to have a good heart. I want you to walk with integrity. And I'm more concerned about your character versus all the things you can do and all the accolades, because that was very important to us, just who you are as a person and making sure that we develop that in a really good way. And that's probably the thing that I am most proud of about our children, is that they're good people.
Yeah.
Despite all the things they do.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that's amazing is in Simeon's journey, like with different doors that open up in different facets. I think one of the things that continues to be kind of like a revelation, not only for him, but like a revelation and confirmation for us, is who he is as the whole person. Oftentimes is what makes things stick, or what actually pushes the door open. Because I've even shared with him before sometimes with certain endeavors, whether it's aspirations around being a student athlete at the next level, whether it's different
their own business
you get into, that a lot of times when you're amongst that number of people who are all qualified, who all could do the job or who all could fill the position, that a lot of times people aren't necessarily looking for you saying, can you do this? They're actually looking for those things that say, okay, that's not the right person. And it's amazing how character oftentimes affirms and confirms that, no, you're the person who can help this team goal happen, or you can help this organization, or we just need your spark and your energy because you bring something to the table that's really awesome and needed. And so it's kind of cool, and we're thankful to God, especially for seeing how that is playing out in his life and in his sister's life.
Wow. These are words. Excuse me, y'all got me choked up over here. Hold on. So now people are watching this, when people watch this video, when they watch this back, and if you're watching, you can definitely comment. The comments will pop up and we'll answer your questions. So if you have any questions for Simeon himself, Pastor Stephens, Mrs. Stephens, you have any questions, even for me, please put them in the comment section. They'll pop up and we'll get those questions answered for you. I wrote down words when y'all were talking. I already had passion down from what Simeon mentioned earlier. Y'all mentioned it again. Y'all knew you wanted your children to participate in extracurricular activities. Absolutely. We're going to put a check by there. Then I heard y'all say, hey, we're going to expose them to stuff. And then we're going to watch what they gravitate to. And then, hey, we're going to give them that nudge and that support to go explore even deeper. So we're going to put a check by that. Now, parents, all the parents watching this, I want y'all to, this is a checklist for you. That's why I'm putting a check by. This is a checklist of things that we can do. Then I heard y'all say, wait a minute. I actually want my children to be well-rounded people? Are y'all serious? Listen, I've met people. Now, I'm off the chain. I go there. I heard people say this, and I know, Nicole, you've heard this too. Well, I had to get mine. They got to get theirs. What? What do you mean they got? How are they gonna get it if we don't? I've never understood that saying ever. But I've heard so many people say it, and to me, I believe it's just unfair to our children if we tell them they have to go get it on their own. I just don't understand how they're supposed to do that if we don't give them any guidance and any guidelines on how they should conduct themselves. So thank y'all for even mentioning the fact that you wanted them before they were born. You wanted your children to be well-rounded. And then you talked about, Nicole, you said good heart. Are you kidding me? You said a good heart. You wanted them to have a good heart. You wanted them to have integrity. And you wanted them to have good character.
Yes.
These are all the words y'all said. Y'all said this.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to point out from what y'all said, and y'all got to remember now, y'all watching this video, I'm a youth development specialist. I work with young people almost every day to help build the same things y'all just heard the Stephens family talk about. Pastor Stephens and Mrs. Nicole Stephens. So this, and you even heard Simeon mention some of this stuff when he was speaking. So we know it's been embedded in him. But the last thing I want to point out and put a check next to on this checklist that the Stephens family has produced tonight is expectations. I heard you say, Nicole, you have told them and you knew, you put into your children, you have the ability to do well in school, academically, and I would imagine in all the extracurricular activities.
Sure.
So that's an expectation to me, that our kids grow up with an expectation of what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. And can I add?
I got it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Very. Also, and I think this is a learning process for parents in general, but I'll speak specifically to us because we know how we parent and what our process of learning and growing with him. Also recognizing that it is absolutely okay for him to go through what he's got to go through to get where he wants to go. And I'm talking about like even the tough sides of it, and that our role is to support and remind him that he can get through it, that he has everything he needs in him to overcome, like the moments of struggle even, or the parts that are uncomfortable, and to just keep encouraging him in those times and say, well, no, like if this is your goal and that's the path, that's what you got to walk through. And so we just want to make sure we're there to support and not hinder because we're trying to protect so much. But hey, you know, the wings got to stretch, the muscles got to stretch for you to be able to get to what you want to get to.
Wow. Nicole, you want to add something to that before we move on? You want to add anything to that?
No, I think it's well said. And I've always, going back to the expectations part, I've always believed that when you set a standard, children will rise to that. You know, if they know this is the standard and this is what we expect, sometimes when there are no expectations of them, then you can kind of just do whatever. So I think that was just very important that we stress that as well in supporting both of our children.
Wow, I like that. A standard. You added another one. I got to put a check by there. There is a standard. I like that.
Definitely.
I like that. And Pastor Steve Tavares, you said support. Even now, I'm gonna use a word. A lot of people don't like to use this word, but I have to use it because I think this is something our young people get away from. And I'm gonna say it. Failure. It's okay to fail. You said it. You said it, Pastor Stevens. Hey, we got to support them even when things are not going well and let them know, hey, you can get through this.
Right.
That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It might hurt. I'm talking about it might hurt unbelievably.
Yeah, because something
but
powerful.
You can still get through it. Yes, sir.
So like, and I'm sure, and Simeon can share this with you, Barry. During the time when he made that journey to nationals with FCCLA, like state and nationals, at the same time, he was going through an injury that made him miss all of AAU season. So he had a fracture in his wrist, had to rehab for surgery, rehab for 4.5 to 5 months, couldn't use his right hand. He still got up every day and trained. We just trained with the left hand. Still trained, ran, did all of the conditioning work he needed to do. And then at the same time was matriculating through the competition process. And I just think it was, you know, it's a powerful testament to not our standard, but his standard for himself. And I, you know, love to hear him talk about that part of the journey for himself.
Well, you did the segue for us. That was the very next, man, that was the very next question.
Oh, wow.
Which was, watch this, Simeon, you represented your high school and the state of Georgia in this, let me read it right, the National Leadership Competition for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America in Seattle, Washington. So that's where the little little thing is, right? That's where in Seattle, Washington, right? You went from Georgia. You telling me you went from Georgia all the way over there? That's where you went to the West Coast.
Yeah.
The Northwest, they call it. The Northwest. The Great Northwest. Wow. Man, well, okay. Break it down for me, man. I had no idea you were injured during all that. Tell me about that experience.
Okay, so it was the end of last season, my junior season. We were going in to region playoffs, and it was in practice. I got hit in a weird way on my wrist, and then at first, like, it hurt, but like, you know, you just go move on from it, and then like you think it's just a regular little bruise, and then like for a while I couldn't bend my wrist right, couldn't bend it properly. When I was trying to dribble, like I couldn't dribble. When I dribbled, the ball would just hit the floor. Like I couldn't even bounce it. And then I just iced it and stuff, and it slowly got better. I mean, the pain was still there, but it got better. So I'm thinking it's just a tough bruise on it. So I played. We had one more game, and I ended up playing in that game. And then after the season was over, I got it like fully checked out. Found out it was fractured. Had to get surgery, all that. And then with the surgery time, I wasn't able to play any AAU basketball. And like, well, this for really any sport, but like going into your senior year, that summer is like really big for like recruiting and stuff. So that was a big piece in it also. So had to get a surgery, was recovering from the surgery, and then I was just trying to work on my like my body all around, build my body up. And then just working on really my left hand basketball wise. So doing that, training all the time, and I'm just trying to keep positive mindset because I mean I can't use my right hand, so it's no reason to just sit there and be mad because I can't use it. So
that's true. Yes, sir.
I'm training, doing all that, and then on the FCCLA side, so I think the competitions start from regional, and then they go to state, and then they go to national. And so basically in FCCLA, they have all these competitions called star events, and you compete with all these people from all these other schools to move on to the next rounds and stuff. And then the topics can be anywhere from like doing like culinary art or presenting a project on just general like health or environment things. So my project was, and just a disclaimer, like I want to go into education after high school. So my project was about teaching third graders an ELA lesson. So I created my own ELA lesson about teaching the main idea, and then I created just basically a mini 20. I think it was like a little 20-minute lesson I had to present to judges at each level. And this is my first year doing this. So I really didn't know what to expect. So I get to the regional competition. I do really well at that, but I mean, to be honest, I expected to move on because the competition wasn't all that anyways. So then I get to the state competition, and then that was pretty fun. Where we were down in Athens, got to miss school for like 3 days. And then they had all these like social events too and things like that. And then you also had to present your project, and then you were down there with the people from your school. So I connected with more people from my school that I probably wouldn't have even talked to if I wasn't in the program.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So then I get down to Athens, and then in the state of Georgia, I want to say the state of Georgia has like one of the largest like group of chapters in like the whole country. So it's really competitive than like if you were to go to like a smaller state in the US. So Georgia's really competitive. So it's hard to get out of the state to win that competition to go to nationals. So then I get there, present my products to the judges. I do extremely well. And then I got first place in Georgia. So then I'm going to Seattle, Washington over the summer. So then fast forward, I think it was in July, right?
End of June, beginning of July.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then, and our chapter was really good. So like a lot of us made it to nationals, which was, I think it was maybe close to 10 or so people. So our chapter in general was really good. So then, get on the plane. Mind you, I know a little bit of these other people I was with, but I still don't know them like that. So like, I'm thinking I'm kind of going by myself essentially. So then fly there, we get there, start talking to people at my school that I don't really talk to a lot, knowing them more. And then also I can't digress in basketball wise. So I'm having to keep my conditioning up while I'm in Seattle at the hotel and stuff like that. Because I mean, I was there for a full week. So I mean, how a week off can get you. So
absolutely. Especially when you eat French fries and hamburgers and stuff.
So I'm down there for a week. Just trying to work out every day in the hotel. Parents are with me, so I'm by myself. Well, not by myself, but I'm with the people from my school and our chapter sponsor. And then it's everybody from across the country. So there's people from random states like North Dakota, South Dakota. I'm not even thinking about those states. And then there's like people from Texas, just all around. And then we're Seattle. So I've been on the West Coast one time in California, but I've never been Northwest with Seattle. So I liked it a lot. But it was still very different from me than from living out here in Georgia. And then the weather was pretty good too. But fast forward to the competition. So get to the competition. And then I'm competing against there was maybe another person that was my age, but most of the people were older than me. And then I'd say it was maybe like 10 people at this point. And so I get there, present my project again. And then also throughout each level, we kept upgrading my project to try to make it like the next level. So I mean, judges like it's still their opinion. So we just try to keep upgrading it, making it better and better each time. So then we get to national competition, present my project. They like it a lot. My project is very interactive. So then present it. Luckily, I presented mine at the beginning of the week. So mind you, the whole rest of the week, I'm just enjoying the city, having fun and all that too. So I'm not having stress about the project the whole time. So then present my project, enjoy Seattle, saw nice scenery, went to the Mariners game, all that stuff. So that was cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then at the end of the week, we have like this huge ceremony where it's thousands of people in this one big room. Then they're like presenting who won each competition. And then get to my competition, and then I found out I got third place nationally. So that was really good. My first year even being in the program. So yeah, I had an eventful summer for sure.
Wow. Now, I got one thing to ask you right now. Mm-hmm. Did you think you were gonna win? Did you think you were gonna place?
I mean, I expected to be honest.
Okay. That's standard.
Yeah.
Say that again, Simeon?
Yeah. I thought my project was pretty good, so I expected to at least place. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, Barry. What was also cool about that is his sponsor, Miss Calandra Payton, who sponsors the club. You know, she'd seen some things in him the year before where she thought that he would do well. And so she encouraged him and said, hey, I really think you have some gifts that could show up in this space. So I'm thankful. We're thankful for her for seeing that and encouraging it. And then, of course, excited that he said, okay, you know what? I'll try this and see how it goes. So, so still kind of like the coach, the teacher, the mentor in the classroom, seeing it in the student and then trying to draw it out. So that's like a real blessing to all of that too.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I love it. One thing I'm amazed about is the fact that you said you were talking to other young people.
Yeah.
I see a lot of places where we go and everybody's on their phone. It's a young man right next to him. There's a young lady right next to him, but they're not talking to him. Everybody's literally like this. So I'm impressed alone that, on the plane, you're connecting with people from your own school that you've never connected with before. And then, of course, when you're out there with thousands of other young people, that you're actually talking and meeting new people. So I'm going to say this to you, Simeon, and everybody that's watching, listen to me very closely. Yes, money is very important. However, it's actually people that make the world go round. Let me say that again. It's actually people that make the world go round. And if you build a relationship with people, especially the people sitting right to your right to your left, you'll be amazed and what kind of relationships you can build. And the only reason I'm on here with the Stephens family right now is because at Morrow High School, Pastor Stephens and I might have been right next to each other at something in the school. And we started building a relationship. And the next thing you know, we're eating lunch together. And we have built this amazing relationship that brings us to today, full circle, with his son right here as an outstanding student athlete, as a part of the student athlete playbook video conversation.
Yeah.
Relationships. And that's the value and the importance of them. And I'm just going to shout out my dad and my mom right now, because those are the two people, specifically my dad, that taught me about the importance of relationships and building at all costs. So, Simeon, that's an outstanding thing you did to go all the way out, getting out of your comfort zone of Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, Georgia, to go across country without your parents and achieve and explore and then actually place. Young man, I salute you. That's outstanding. And that's leadership. I wrote down leadership. This is what I wrote down from what you said. Leadership, you are a leader, and overcoming adversity. Only student athletes know about injury at that level, that you cannot do what you normally do with both hands. However, you in a leadership competition, and at the same time, you have to maintain your stamina by exercising and working out in a place you've never been before, and come back home and get right back in the groove of training. That's tremendous. That's a tremendous example of overcoming adversity. That's awesome, Simeon. That's awesome, man. Awesome, man. What now? Thank you, Simeon, for sharing that with me personally, but also all the people that's going to watch this video, because you just helped somebody by sharing that amazing story. So now watch this. I want to ask your mom and dad this. This is a huge compliment for Simeon. However, what did y'all village? What did the grandparents? What did the cousins and uncle? What did they think about this amazing accomplishment that Simeon accomplished? Because they're part of this too. So what did they say? What did they say about this? Nicole, we'll start with Nicole.
Yeah, they were very excited. I mean, they were very excited at each level. They helped to, some of them aren't in the Atlanta area, but it's like, okay, they're going to support with helping him to get to where he needs to be. So we always, as parents, appreciate that too.
Absolutely.
But I think they were very supportive. We also, I think he did the presentation in front of some people too, via Zoom or FaceTime or whatever, because we wanted him to practice, not with just us, but like practice for some other people. But they were excited and supported in all kinds of ways. So we definitely appreciate that. And I think we both come from families that, they expect a lot. And when and it's not stressful, but it's like, it's that village that's going to say, hey, you can do this. We're so proud of you. You're amazing. All of those things help their confidence and boost it even more. So they did that as well.
Yeah. I'd agree with you.
Add to that?
Yeah, I'd agree with Nicole on that. And I think maybe part of my favorite part was, seeing the support, and you're not having to ask twice if in particular, folks supporting financially. But also maybe one of my favorite parts was them being excited and elated for him and telling him that, but also adding, but yeah, that's what you're supposed to do too. So that part's cool in the sense of, because Simeon has a high standard for himself. And so when he goes after things, he really does go after it with passion. So it's beautiful to celebrate even you doing what you believe you can do and what you would say you're supposed to do. But recognize that you don't take it for granted still.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful thing to have that mix of celebration and expectation that that doesn't make it feel like it's the weight of the world on your shoulders, whether or not you ultimately reach the goal or not. But hey, we're excited, and he and I talk about this all the time. We're excited that he's in love with the process of just becoming. And that's a huge thing.
I love it. Love it. Man, the process. You just said a key word that we have not said tonight. The process. Do not be afraid to go through the process and grow and learn from it. Because we're all on a journey here. And the journey is the process that we have to go through. I love it. I love it, Pastor. Yes, sir. I love it. So now, Simeon, back to you as we get ready to close this thing out. Now, your dad has mentioned Jordan, LeBron tonight. Like, who are some of the college and professional players that you look up to, and possibly have patterned your game after? Who are some of those players?
For the most part, LeBron. Just because of like the way he's had to grind up to where he is. I feel like people forget like the journey he came from just to get to the NBA. Like, and like even just like when you talk about like statistics and stuff, like he's really like not supposed to be there when you just look at like all the life stuff that he had to go through to get there. Because I feel like that's overshadowed a lot when we see him doing all these great things. But so LeBron, honestly, I take like any good aspect I see from any player, regardless. Like, because even like Steph, like you think of them, LeBron, Steph, kind of rivals. Like anything I see good from a player, I just kind of try to put it in wherever I can. I won't say like I model my game after like a specific player. Like I feel like I do have elements of certain players. Like I have a good mid-range game, so I mean you could say like DeRozan or Booker, things like that. But then I also play extremely physical on offense and on defense. So it's not like I don't just look at a guy and it's like, okay, I want to play exactly like him. I just kind of anything good that I see from anybody, really, I just kind of try to add that to my game if I don't already have it.
I love it. That's right. Hey man, take something from everybody that you think is giving something positive, giving something important, something that can help you, and you using it. I love it, man. I love it. And Simeon, what are you talk about a lot of different stuff. I see you have a lot of different skills. You can speak, you can write, you obviously can organize and put projects together. What are you looking at majoring in college?
Some type of major in the education field. I'm not sure if I want to do like primary or secondary, but like somewhere involves teaching, because I mean my ultimate goal is I want to coach too. So somewhere in that. And then I mean I've been like counselors at like basketball camps, even like captains on my team. So I feel like that just kind of speaks to like the leadership and teaching part that I'm gravitated towards.
Yeah, you're an outstanding young leader, brother. Your leadership ability is like your projection is I see you just out of here, man. It's no limits. Let me make sure I say that too. There's no limits. You have no limits. So whatever you choose to do in the education field, coaching and teaching, then yeah, I have no doubt that you're gonna be successful at it. Yes, sir. And of course, I'll always be watching. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So you got a fan in me. You know what I'm saying? You got a fan in me. So now, as we close out, and thank y'all, this has been a great conversation by far. And I thank y'all for taking the time to do it. And like I said before, there's going to be coaches. There's going to be all kind of people watching this video. And hopefully for years to come, for eternity. You know what I'm saying? But as we close out, and Nicole, I want to start with you ladies first, as always. What would you like to share with other student athletes and just students in general that want to be like Simeon, that want to be like Neil, that want to be like some of the outstanding young people Coach Stephens has coached and taught over the years. And Coach Stephens, let me say this to you before we get, well, I'm going to save it for you when I get to you. We're going to give this is Mrs. Stephens' time. I apologize.
No problem.
What would you like? Would you like to say to parents and the parents of these student athletes and anybody that works with young people? What would you like to say as we close out today?
I think I'd like to say just seeing what, figuring out different ways you can instill or help a student be confident in who they are, love themselves, respect themselves as well. I think that really goes a long way. And no matter what you want to do, what kind of sport you want to play, what kind of student you are, having that belief that you are going to succeed, your skills and your talent and your work are going to help you to get there too. And we are a family of faith too. So, helping our children understand whose they are is very important to us. But that belief and confidence, I think that's truly important in whatever they do in life. So being a parent or a part of the village that can help them with that is amazing.
Wow.
I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Pastor Stephens, how would you like to close this thing out? What message would you like to deliver?
Yeah.
We don't have an offering plate, Pastor. We don't have an offering plate either now. But yes, sir.
Well, I would say I would encourage student athletes to fall in love with the process of being the best version of themselves that they can be. And just embrace all that the process puts you through. Embrace the struggles, embrace the triumphs and celebrate them. Embrace, as Nicole said, just learning to be confident. Embrace discovering all of the gifts that are inside of you and realize that your gifts will make room for you and bring you into great situations before great people where you can do great things. And that faith element is also key. Like, just give it all over to God in the midst of the process. Pray, meditate, focus, see yourself being who you believe you can be, have faith in it, and just go after it. And kind of throw caution to the wind with it also. Don't approach it in a way where you are hesitant that it might not work. So you then don't put your whole self in it. Just go and let the outcome be what it's going to be as you fall in love with the process of being the best version of yourself.
The best version of yourself. Amen. That's some good stuff right there, Coach. Coach, pastor, teacher, father. That's good. That's good, my brother. That's very good. Simeon, it's on you, brother. What would you like to leave on other student athletes? Because there's a whole generation of student athletes, believe it or not, coming up behind you that want to be co-captain of the basketball team, want to be a starter of the varsity basketball team, that want to go to these leadership conferences and competitions and be number one in place and meet all these amazing people from around the country. What do you have to say to close out tonight in this conversation, Simeon?
I say first, like, you just have to be confident in everything you do. Because I feel like I had to learn that a lot. I mean, I'm still learning that in different areas that I go into, just making sure that you're not leaving parts of yourself, or when it comes to sports, your game, and not make sure it travels every place you go, first off. And then secondly, like just put it in the work to be able to do the things that you want to do out in public and out in the bright lights. Because if you can't expect to play well in the court or the field if you don't work as hard as you can. And then even in the classroom or in like leadership things, if you don't practice speaking up in front of just a small amount of people, what makes you think when you get on the stage you're going to be able to speak in front of large amounts? So I say that, and then finally just trust in what you work on, and then not putting too much pressure on yourself if you feel like you could do better in certain aspects, but just embracing the journey, really.
I love embracing the journey. Y'all know y'all gave me a checklist right here at the end. y'all gave it to me, and I love it. Embracing the journey. I definitely have to write that one down. Because you see, Simeon, when I talk to people, young, old, it doesn't matter. I try to learn something from them.
Yeah.
It's a term I know you with your parents being who they are. I know you've heard this phrase before: active listening.
Mm-hmm.
And I attempt to listen actively, no matter who I'm speaking to, because I take pride in being able to go from the streets to the suites, and we can actually learn from every single person that we encounter. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my checklist at the end tonight before we close out. Total. Nicole, you talked about confidence, respect, faith, and love. Well, that's a beautiful combination of words. Tavares, you mentioned this phrase, which I think we need to press upon more: discovering our gifts. It's so many people, I believe, do not know that they actually possess gifts, but they do. So thank you for putting that on our minds. We must discover our gifts. And the only way we can do that, you and Nicole both said, is by faith in God. We have to connect with God and be connected with God to do that. There's only one way to do it: through God. We cannot connect. We cannot discover our gifts if we're not connected to God. So thank you, brother. Then you mentioned pray, meditate, focus. And that's what Simeon was talking about when he went through his adversity. I know he was praying. I know he was meditating, and he had the focus to present that amazing project.
Yeah.
And then Simeon at the end here, his message to the young people coming up behind him and his peers right now. Simeon said, put in that work.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work. That's the only way you're going to get anything out of it. And then the phrase of the night, Simeon, your dad mentioned it earlier. He said, fall in love with the process. And you said, embrace the journey. Your dad earlier said, fall in love with the process. And you just ended our conversation with embracing the journey.
Yeah.
Amen. You got it, young man. And what the Stephens family just did tonight was y'all did give a playbook. Pastor, you said your message today in church was the playbook.
Yeah.
And y'all just gave another playbook tonight on how our families and how our villages of friends and family can help move us forward so that we can produce children like Simeon and Nia and Amari and Aubrey and all these great young people that are out here in the world doing their thing. So I want to say thank you. And everybody watching this tonight, understand that we have the ability to discover our gifts, like Pastor Stephens has said, if we connect with God. And you all know the pillars of youth education and sports is simply this: vision, goals, habits, focus, and work ethic.
Mhm.
And all those things were mentioned tonight in some form or fashion. So we thank y'all for watching. We hope you learned something. We hope you take something from this video that you can apply in your lives right now. And if you do not have the Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life, go to your nearest store. Here in Metro Atlanta, you have Nubian Bookstore out in Monroe. Shout out to the whole Monroe Mustangs, the whole South Lake area, Clayco, Clayton County. And over on the Southwest Atlanta side, Madu Bookstore inside of Greenbrier Mall. You can go visit their Sister Nia and take care of it for you. And out in Nubian Bookstore, that's Brother Marcus out there. And then, of course, you can go on Amazon and purchase it as well. So tonight, we say thank you. Thank you for watching the Student Athlete Playbook video conversation. And right now, y'all going to hear it first. Right now, Simeon Stephens is, you're going to see it on Facebook here tomorrow, but we're going to give him his gift right now. You're going to see him as one of the finalists for the Youth Education and Sports Student Athlete of the Year. So you'll be seeing that. And on January the 1st, the first day of 2025, we'll be announcing our Student Athlete of the Year for Youth Education and Sports. So, hey, Simeon, congratulations to you, young man. Keep up the good work. And this is what I was going to tell you, Pastor Steve, before we close out. Michael Graves, one of our students. Remember, I sent him a message that day. We were at lunch that day.
Okay.
And he told me to tell you what's up, my brother. He told me to tell you that. And I'm gonna figure out some way. We're gonna all get together soon. Some of these Monroe Mustangs, we're gonna get together so we can connect with you, and you can continue to pour into these are grown men now.
Right.
But we're gonna continue to pour into them because we met these young people when they were slightly younger than you, Simeon, and we've maintained these relationships with them, and we're excited about them, and that's what we do here at Youth Education and Sports. Just in case you all didn't know who's watching this video, that's what we do. We build lifelong relationships, and that's why we said what we said during this call tonight in this conversation. So thank you to the Stephens family, and hey, y'all have a great night and one love.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Thank you.